Hey guys, Jay here. Welcome to another convention review. Today I am talking about HorrorCon 2025. So just like with every convention that I do this to, there'll be another video that you can get to in the top right in a little card thingy or the description below that will lead to, there's a bunch of stuff right here that's my con haul where I show you my signatures and all the stuff that I bought. So this is the first time I've been to this one. So yeah, so this is run by the same people that do Anime Washington, Washington Gaming Expo, which actually next year, 2026, they're combining those into one thing. So there'll only be one set of vlogs and stuff for that, for both of those. But anyway, they run those as well as SummerCon that we've been doing for a while. So this is just one of their other conventions. They started last year with it, and yeah. So this year, that obviously it's horror themed. So this is around Halloween. This is actually the weekend before Halloween. I actually have another convention next week. I'm doing this on Sunday, the day the convention ended, and then in like 4 days, I have to go to another convention, which is KomoriCon down in Portland, which is actually on Halloween weekend. So I'm very happy that they did this the week before. I was able to get both off, so I was able to go to both. So that's cool. Less money for me, but whatever. But it doesn't really matter. This con was actually really fun. So if this is something you like, if you like the horror genre of movies and video games and things like that, perfect, right? So this is really good for that. There was a lot of really cool cosplayers. So like you don't get to see much of the horror stuff at other conventions because everyone wants to do everything else, right? They want to save these things for Halloween and around that time. So you don't see as much especially at an anime convention. You're gonna see some, but like I've seen Art the Clown from Terrifier. I've seen other Jason Voorhees. Every once in a while we'll see like a Freddy or a Michael, but you don't really see them that often. This was packed with them. So my friend Hardy went this year on Friday as Michael Myers, and there was a bunch of other Michael Myers who just came up and stared at him, just like that the whole time. And it was just amusing and fun. So, and he would do it back, and, you know, it was fun. And there was a bunch of cool Jason Voorhees cosplays, which there was one that had like the I don't know if it was makeup or a latex mask, but it was like the disfigured face of Jason Voorhees. It was really cool. It looked like it might have been prosthetics, but I can't tell, but it's whatever. So there was that. There was a couple other ones. There was a bunch of just awesome people there. It was really cool. As far as things go with like staff was all good this year. Well, for this con anyway. I had no problems with any of them. They were all nice. And actually today, Sunday, the day that I'm filming this, we had to do something because Hardy got a photo. He paid for a photo with a wrestler, and he got the autograph and stuff like that and forgot to take the photo. And so he had to go back in and be like, hey, I forgot the photo. Am I allowed to come back and take it? Whatever. So they let him. But I had to go sit down somewhere because I was like, I don't want to just stand here and wait for him. So I'm going to see if there's a spot to sit down. There wasn't in that area. So I asked, there was a staff member over by those lines where it was off to the side. And they had one chair and nobody was sitting in it. And I was like, do you mind if I sit in this? I just need to sit for a little bit. And they're like, yeah, you can sit for a little bit. And so I was like, oh, cool. So I did. And they were like, oh, they said you can sit for a second. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'll get back up after a second. I'm not going to sit here forever. And then I was talking to that person, telling them how my friend was doing this or whatever. Like he was going to get the picture again. And so I was like, you know, I can get up if I can't, you know, sit here for too long. And they go, no, it's okay. Just sit down. And they're like, it's totally fine. No one's using it. And I was like, oh, that works for me. So, because it was one of the chairs for staff members, so they let me use the chair. So that was nice. And I got to sit down for a little bit. Yeah, everything was fine. On Saturday, Atlas came up. Well, on Friday, Atlas came up, and he picked us up from the convention and then brought us here to my house. And then on Saturday, all three of us went. And then he just left this morning. He dropped us off. He dropped me and Hardy off and then just immediately left and went home because he needs to be there for Monday to go to work and stuff because he can't get all this time off. So he just came up here Saturday because he's got Saturday and Sunday off. So yeah, so we wanted to get Jack Skellington's voice actor, Chris Sarandon, and his line was huge, but he was also late. So apparently, I think it was Alaskan Airlines got hacked or something. Their terminals or whatever got hacked. So a lot of stuff was happening. They had to keep landing planes in weird places, and so everyone that was on those was late and wasn't able to get in until Saturday. So that kind of screwed things up. So that makes sense. But his line Saturday was capped every time we went up there to try. And we went up like 8 or 9 times during the day, and it was just completely filled. And we were like, okay, this is completely pointless. We're not going to get them. We were able to today on Sunday. His line was way faster. It was like 30 minutes, maybe 45 tops. And that was it. We're like, yes, good. And actually, it was less than that because we got we got the wrestlers. The last one that he wanted, the one he forgot the photo with, was that he got to his booth around 11:05, and then we were there for maybe 10 minutes messing around because he just continued to talk, and it was pretty fun. There was only like 4 people in line, so everyone else was cool with it. It seemed so, and the guest was the one doing all the talking and stuff, and he had a little game to play and everything with all the guests. I mean, all the people that came to see him. So that was kind of cool. And so we took part in that. And after that, we went off and realized, oh wait, we didn't get that picture, and we were already in Chris Sarandon's line. And they were capping it like a couple people after us. So we were like, no, we're not going to get out of line. We will get out of line. Then we can go back over there, and I can and do that. And he ran off to go get his picture after that. So that was after we got the signatures. Then I went off, showed Atlas that I got the signatures, and then because some of it was his for Chris Sarandon, and then we ran off that way, and then he went back to the line, and that's when I went back, and I ended up getting a message back from Atlas saying, "Wow, you guys got that before noon." So that's how long it took. So I don't know time exactly, but yeah. So that's how fast things went. It was really good today, and we had a lot of fun out of costume today because I wore this Coraline shirt. He actually wore some Ric Flair stuff because he cosplays as Ric Flair from the wrestling stuff to go meet the wrestlers. And we just didn't really care about costumes today as much. So he just kind of put the robe on, and he put the shorts on over his pants because he just did not care. So it was like that. He didn't wear the boots. So it was just a fun day to just mess around. And it was actually kind of sunny, and it wasn't rainy too bad today. They rained the rest of the weekend. So yeah. They also had a car show, which was pretty cool. So they had a little tent. There's an area when you get in the doors. The buildings are on well, for you guys it's different with this, but to me it'd be on the right side as you walk in. That's where the buildings are, and then on the left side there's this big tent, and they usually have us go in there early. If we get there early enough and they open the doors early, you go in there, and then once time hits, you guys just bolt it over to the building, and inside that tent was a car show. So they had a whole bunch of different cars from different horror stuff. Like they had a Jason themed one. They had a Xenomorph themed one. They had a bunch of others. They had the Frankenstein car. I think they had an Addams Family one. They had, I don't remember actually now. But I believe they had the Supernatural car in there. They had a bunch of cars, like horror themed cars in the main building itself too. So they had like this dragon dragster. It was like an actual dragster racing car that looked like, it was like the design was a dragon. So we called it the Shenron dragster because it's green. It's like Shenron from Dragon Ball. So we just called it that. But there was a couple other ones that were just really cool. And there was the car from Elvira's show thing, because she's the host of this convention. So the car that they had like in her show and stuff was there with a little standee. So there's that. And then, we could take pictures with it. You could not go into the area where the car was. You could just stand outside the barriers and take a picture or something. I took some videos. So there's that. But yeah, other than that, there was nothing. There was no bad this year, really. The bad was the weather, and they can't control that. Everything was inside anyway. We don't care. So actually on Saturday, it stopped raining a little bit, and there's a corn maze. We didn't care to go through that, but they had food there. They had these really good Polish dogs, but they were $16 friggin' dollars. They were not worth $16, but they were still really good. So we got that, and we got like a combo with chips and a soda. And it was $20 for that combo, which I do not suggest spending that much on food. But it was good enough. And then it started to rain, and I had just finished mine before Atlas got around to getting his condiments and stuff. And we just ended up going back inside. And that's it. So the rain didn't really do anything. But Saturday night, the rain was really bad. So, and it was really hard to come back in the dark because it was like 6 o'clock, 6:30 when we finally got out and left. So that was not very good because in the dark and the rain, it is very bad. And people do not know how to drive in the rain and the dark. So it was just horrible. But that has nothing to do with the convention itself. So yeah. So like I said, there's really nothing bad about the convention itself. The convention was great. The only thing we didn't get to do was get Elvira's signature. Her line was always capped the entire weekend. There was nothing we could do. We just never got there when it wasn't capped. Or even when it wasn't capped, it was still so big that we were going to be in it for hours. And we were like, nah, not happening. Just screw it. We wanted to, but it's fine. So I said, screw it, and bought something else, which I'll get into in the other video. Yeah, there's nothing negative to say, really. So it's all positive, other than the weather. And we can't do anything about that. And that's not the con's fault. That's pretty much going to be the end of the review. So honestly, I would suggest this convention for horror fans. You might, if you like that kind of stuff, you might love this. They had a lot of good actors and stuff. So on top of having Jack Skellington's voice actor, they also had 3 of the guys who portrayed Jason Voorhees. They had the guy who was Ghostface in Scream 1 and 2. They had one of the guys, I think the original Leatherface from Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then a few other things, you know. But last year they had like 2 or 3 different of the Freddy Kruegers. They had all the other Jasons. They had a couple Michael Myers. I think this year they had a Michael Myers too, because one of the Jason Voorhees also does a Michael Myers, and a few other things. And they had a couple of the kids that were in It. They're kind of grown up now, but they had some of them. They had a few others, and then like I said, the wrestlers, and it was just all over fun. So yeah, there's that. So I never give these a rating, like a 1 through 10, number of stars or a grade or whatever. So what I do is I tell you what happened at the convention, and then you decide if you want to go. And then if you want to go, go. If you don't, don't. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you like it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later.